What would you do if you saw five grown men surround a woman in a restaurant? Most people would freeze, maybe look away, or pull out their phones to record. But what if I told you? Those men were about to learn the most unforgettable lesson of their lives in just 15 seconds. Hey everyone, welcome back to Mission Diaries, where real stories of courage, strength, and heart remind us that heroes aren't always wearing capes. Sometimes they're just women who refuse to break. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Mission Diaries so you never miss stories that inspire and empower women around the world. It was a rainy evening in Virginia Beach. The kind of night when the streets glisten with streetlight reflections, and the hum of the city feels distant and quiet. Inside a small 24-hour diner, a woman sat alone at the counter, stirring her coffee absent-mindedly. Her name was Lieutenant Sarah Collins, a Navy officer who had just finished a grueling 36-hour shift. She looked tired, almost fragile to the untrained eye, her loose hoodie, hair tied back, and eyes lost in thought. But beneath that calm exterior was a woman who had faced the kind of storms most people couldn't imagine. At another booth, 5 men entered, loud, half-drunk, and looking for trouble. They laughed too hard, their voices slicing through the calm atmosphere of the diner. The waitress looked nervous, trying her best to ignore their crude jokes. Sarah noticed everything. She had the kind of situational awareness that never switched off. Years of Navy training had taught her to read people like open books. And she could tell something ugly was about to unfold. The men's attention soon shifted. One of them, tall and broad-shouldered, noticed Sarah. He smirked, whispering something to his friends. They laughed. The group swaggered toward her like hyenas circling prey. "Hey, sweetheart," one of them slurred, leaning on the counter beside her. "What's a pretty thing like you doing here all alone?" Sarah didn't answer. She kept her eyes on her coffee, hoping silence would make them go away. But bullies feed on silence. Another man reached out, brushing his hand against her shoulder. "Come on, don't be shy," he sneered. "We're just being friendly." Sarah's grip on her mug tightened. Her instincts kicked in, slow, controlled breathing, muscles relaxed but ready. She looked up finally, eyes sharp, voice steady. "Walk away," the men laughed. "Or what?" one challenged. The waitress took a step back, whispering frantically to the cashier to call someone. But before anyone could reach for the phone, the tallest man reached out again, this time grabbing Sarah's wrist. In that moment, everything changed. Sarah moved with precision so fast it was almost a blur. Her elbow shot back, hitting the man in the throat. Before he could gasp, she twisted his arm behind him and used his own weight to send him crashing into the counter. The second man lunged forward. She sidestepped, driving her knee into his stomach, sending him sprawling. The third grabbed a chair, swinging wildly, but Sarah ducked, disarmed him, and flipped him over in one motion. It was over in 15 seconds. 5 men lying on the diner floor, groaning, gasping, stunned. The entire restaurant was silent. The waitress stared in disbelief. "Ma'am, who are you?" she finally whispered. Sarah adjusted her hoodie calmly, picked up her wallet, and dropped some cash on the counter. "Just someone who doesn't like bullies," she said softly. She walked out into the rain as sirens began to wail in the distance. But the night wasn't over yet. If this story already has your heart racing, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Mission Diaries for more true stories of women who redefine courage every single day. Now, what happened after that night changed everything for Sarah. The next morning, news of the diner incident spread like wildfire. Social media was flooded with cell phone videos, grainy footage of a woman taking down 5 men like a scene from an action movie. Hashtags like "Her Diner Hero" and "Mer Navy Angel" began trending. But Sarah wasn't looking for fame. In fact, she wished it would all just disappear. Back at her base, her commanding officer called her in. "You made quite an impression out there, Lieutenant," he said with a half smile. "The brass wants to keep this quiet, but I think you reminded a lot of people what honor looks like." Sarah saluted, then said quietly, "Sir, I didn't do it for attention. Those men weren't my mission. They were a reminder." He raised an eyebrow. "A reminder of what?" She looked out the window where the flag waved proudly in the morning wind. "That women in uniform fight battles every day, some on the field, and some just trying to walk home safely." Her words stayed with him. And within weeks, Sarah's story sparked something bigger, a wave of self-defense classes for women on bases across the country. Her quiet bravery became the seed of a movement. News outlets eventually uncovered her identity, and interviews poured in, but she turned most of them down. She wasn't interested in being famous. She was interested in making change. Months later, Sarah was invited to speak at a military women's conference. Standing on that stage facing hundreds of women in uniform, she said, "I didn't fight those men because I was strong. I fought them because I was tired of seeing fear win. Strength isn't about muscles or training. It's about never letting the world convince you that you're weak." The audience erupted in applause. Many had tears in their eyes. That night, Sarah Collins became more than a Navy officer. She became a symbol of resilience, courage, and the kind of quiet power that changes the world one act at a time. And somewhere, in a small diner that now had a security camera and a framed photo of Sarah on the wall, people still told the story of the night 5 men learned the hard way, what real strength looks like. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you proud of the strength women carry every day, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Her Mission Diaries. Because every week we share stories that remind the world her mission is strength, courage, and never giving up.